Luckily, this new game is every bit as good as other Star Wars titles. Your mission is to transform the barren moon of Naboo into a thriving, balanced world. You have to help the Gungans build a new underwater city and control the release of Star Wars creatures and plants into the empty landscape.
Ah! Oh, the critters are scared of that landscaping joint and all its shovels and stuff.
If you can understand a word he says, Jar Jar Binks is on hand to assist you. You must monitor population levels, manage the food web, and harvest the valuable resources necessary to build the new city. There's a living encyclopedia where you can learn about the life forms you unleash onto Naboo. And you can discover how the creatures interact and depend on each other for survival. There are 13 missions which will test your terraforming skills to the full, and unless you get the balance just right, your ecosystem could collapse. The Gungan Frontier continues the tradition of excellent Star Wars titles and will teach players as well as entertain them. Let's just hope that our new ecosystem is safe from the clumsy Jar Jar.
What's this button do?
We've seen some bizarre racing games over the years on Cybernet, but Sledstorm is one of the craziest. Sled racing is like a combination of snowboarding and jet skiing. It's a mixture of high-speed racing action and some fancy mid-air tricks. You can choose from 6 funky characters to control, and as you become more successful, you can upgrade your sled to make it faster and more maneuverable. Sledstorm is excellent fun to play and boasts some impressive graphics. Although pulling tricks is fairly awkward, the fast and frantic racing more than makes up for this. Unlike other snow-based games, most of the races take place on proper tracks, so you're always guaranteed some close action. Your sled is very responsive, making this a neat and enjoyable game to play, and the multiplayer option is one of the best we've seen in a PlayStation racing title. If anything, Sledstorm is a bit too easy, but then this isn't really a title that you play with the aim of winning endless championships. It's a straightforward action game that's best played with your friends. If you're on the lookout for some new racing thrills, then Sledstorm is not only very original, but it's a great all-round package. Castrol Honda motorcycle racing simulations were a surprise hit on the PC. Now PlayStation owners have the chance to race a superbike as fast as they dare. Castrol Honda Superbike Racing is the first bike simulation on the PlayStation, so it doesn't have much in the way of competition, and to be honest, this game is fairly average in most areas. The game lets you adjust your suspension, gear ratios and other areas on the bike to achieve its best performance. But ultimately, the bike's handling is not the best and certainly doesn't come across as being as realistic as the PC version. As soon as you load the game, you'll be disappointed by the graphics, and there's only really one decent perspective from which to race. In terms of the actual on-track action, it's not bad, but it won't have you coming back for more. Castrol Honda Superbike Racing fills a gap in the PlayStation market, but it should have been so much better. 10 of the best-selling N64 games from around the world now with the Cybernet chart. At 10 and leaping back into the top 10, it's those cute little racers from Mario Kart 64. In 9th, one of the best games ever made. Keeping us waiting for Perfect Dark, it's GoldenEye 007. It's all in the wrist for All-Star Tennis 99. It smashes into our chart at number 8. Look out for Prehistoric Pedestrians at 7 in Diddy Kong Racing. Still precariously hanging around in the charts in 6th, it's Mission Impossible. And at number 5, the second most successful Beatles ever, in Beetle Adventure Racing. Straight Straight in at number 4 is the N64's greatest strategy title to date, Command & Conquer. The second of 3 new entries this week, Quake 2 blasts its way to 3rd. And moving forcefully through the pack, F1 World Grand Prix 2 enters the top 10 in 2nd position. But still out in front and showing no signs of slowing, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer is this week's number 1. Time for some fun in the sun now with another flight simulation heading your way, the aptly named Fly. Like several other civil aviation games, you can pilot all kinds of small-scale aircraft in many different scenarios. One of this title's main strengths is the choices it allows you in deciding when, where and what you want to fly. Although the lack of landscape detail is very disappointing, the game's physics are excellent and the planes react how you'd expect them to. Here we decided to make our passengers feel slightly ill. As a beginner, an indestructible aircraft always helps. Pass that sick bag, please. Fly is not quite as interesting as Flight Unlimited 3, but for a relaxing trip through the clouds, this is as real as it gets. Right now. Left a bit. Right a bit. Steady. Ah. There we go. Lovely. Yes, here's another football game for your PC, but what you really want to know is whether it's as good as FIFA. International Football 2000 lacks an official license, but what it loses in authenticity, it more than makes up for in terms of playability. And yes, it is better than FIFA. You can choose to play with over 73 countries from around the world, and you can also recreate the qualifying rounds for the Euro 2000 Championships.
No trouble for the keeper. Good header, played short.
Despite some horrendous commentary, this game is a winner. The controls are some of the most simple and user-friendly we've seen. It blends the arcade fun of the FIFA games with the strategic emphasis of the Actua soccer titles. Therefore, it should appeal to beginners as well as devoted football fans. If you're struggling to score goals, then the useful training mode is both helpful and fun to play. International Football 2000 may not have a flashy license, but it looks great. This game definitely has championship potential. OK, time for our competition now, so grab a pen. This week's prize is a PlayStation and a copy of Wipeout 3 to play on it, so prepare for extreme speed with the sequel to one of the most influential PlayStation games ever. To win this prize, call our number and answer this question. What is the name of the most recent Star Wars movie? Is it A, The Phantom Menace, B, Citizen Kane, or C, The Godfather Part 3? If you think you know, call 0660 113333. Please dial carefully and don't forget to ask permission from the person who pays the telephone bill first. We'll put up the question and number again at the end of today's show, so get dialing and good luck. Coming up, we command and conquer, revisit some arcade classics, and show you the upcoming games that we're most excited about.